Barry,
Stephen,
welcome back.
and you.
Don't be saying it with a cob on.
I'm not.
Aye, how much time have you had off?
Loads of time. It has been great.
Yeah, so come back with a smile.
I have.
Good, let your face know.
I will. When I get home.
Did you listen to last week's podcast, 222?
I did.
What did you think?
Excellent. I was gutted I couldn't be here, but it was good.
Yeah.
Listen to it, yeah.
Good
Fantastic.
stuff. It was a good podcast, actually, live from California with James and Merlin, House and Garden. If you didn't listen to it, go back. Lots of useful growing information.
Good nutrients.
Do you know what I've been doing during lockdown?
What?
Listening to loads of podcasts. How many people have got podcasts now?
Everyone. Everyone's doing podcasts.
Every man and his dog is doing a podcast.
I'm just made up we were first to the punch.
Well, 2014, 2015, 6 years ago. So basically, this podcast is, if you listen to this one for growing, there's not going to be much growing tips today. It's just we're back and have a little gab with you all and say that things are going to get taken up a notch. I've been inspired by the amount of people starting podcasts. A lot of Liverpool podcasts have been started. I've just been watching Logan Paul's podcast with Ben Askren. That was quite good. Lovely set on that, and it's inspired me to. I've been looking forward to coming back and chilling with you, Barry.
Good to be back.
It is.
It is good to be back.
So there we go. As always, get yourself a cuppa. If you're not listening for the growing, then go on, fuck off, get outside in the sun. Smell yous next week when we'll be back to the AutoPots. Next week's podcast is a deep dive into AutoPot.
Yeah, man.
Gravity fed grown. So
what's this one about?
This one's just sort of getting back into the flow. Like I was thrown really into the deep end last week. It was like House and Garden wanted to do a podcast, but it was good because it gave me a kick up the backside to get going. You know, when you know what, we'll leave all that till after the break. Go and get your cuppa if you're staying with us, and follow us on Instagram at NPK Podcast. We're going to start just really ramping up. We're back with the podcast. We'll be doing live soon enough. Back on Instagram, call-ins, all that jazz. So join us, find out what's going to be coming up in 2021. Go on, and I'll see you all after the break.
All good? Ready to go? Turn my voice up a little bit. Oh, got that. Everyone watching. The whole family.
Are you ready to go? Are you built to be in the house that I built, in the booth that I built?
I know people tune in every Sunday to listen, but even when business is good, we still manage to do the podcast.
Yeah, we still under 2 meters. Anyone going to moan?
No.
Good
I'm
stuff.
not asked. I'm fucking sick of it.
So, yeah, I have been inspired, Barry. I've been inspired by the amount of people starting podcasts. I think it's brilliant.
I've listened to loads lately, though. Even what's that? James English, is it?
James English has just come from nowhere.
He's
absolute
I don't think he's come from nowhere, but I just think that podcasts have become. I think he's always been doing it, but podcasts themselves have just took off. So anyone who's sort of on podcast, they're everywhere now, aren't they?
Yeah, so it's give us a kick up the arse. We've got a new-ish studio.
Like James, his name is James English, isn't it? James English. Everyone who's been on James English's podcast has now started a podcast, and it's like, wow, okay, now man, what's going on?
It's fucking But
we're still the only grown podcast, though, aren't we?
Yeah, it'll be good to see how many podcasts stay.
Still the only
the
listened
course.
to grown podcast.
Yeah, in the UK, there's some good ones out there in America.
In America,
I want
in Britain. It's just us, lad.
Well, it's hard to maintain a podcast. It is hard. We've been doing it for 6 years now. We've had a few breaks in between, and but no, this is another go, and I have been properly. You know what was nice? It was nice having
What'd
a
be
break.
nice is when the audio's back on.
What do you mean?
Not the audio, the visual.
The visual.
The audio.
It'll be nice when the audio's back on. Yeah. No, when we've got the camera set up, we've now got 4 mics, so the guests will all have good audio, proper soundproofed.
We're going to go for loads of guests from now, aren't we?
Yeah, it's just better.
I feel fucking boring in life out of me. I was made up to have a break with COVID. COVID was like a blessing to me, like.
Boring.
A break from state.
People who don't understand may get bored.
What?
People who don't understand may get bored.
I understand.
I'm high level, next level science, hydro science. That's what we are.
Hydro science under the table.
So yeah, that's what we're doing. We're back with the podcast every Sunday.
Who are the partners? I forgot.
I think the partners might have forgot.
And the partners I forgot.
Yeah. What do we sponsor? Do we partners with the podcast? Fucking hell, we forgot. Yeah. The bellends just went missing for 4 months.
Let's do the sponsors. Let's do Hardy. So they've held in with us, haven't they?
Oh, and they will be getting repaid in kind, not in money. They'll be getting repaid in kind and lots of shout outs. And no, we do owe them. We owe all the partners a lot because
we want the partners on, no, don't we, as well? We want to start getting the partners on.
Yeah, so they can start talking about stuff. I think Si from BudBox is going to come on. Josh from CANNA. Jason from AutoPot. Yeah, he's always loves to jump on the podcast, where he is in the world. Yeah. Chris from Gavita, he's going to come on the podcast. Yeah, man. We're now
Big arms.
He can help us move this table. That's about 12 tons. The SANlight guys, get them to broadcast in live from Austria.
Yeah, it'd be good.
Eric, if you can do another 3-hour podcast, Eric, we'll have him on.
No, we won't. We'll just talk about him.
Of course, we'll save Erwin till last because when Erwin comes over, it's always beers and a nice steak at the Mill and Carter
on a Friday, so it's dead late.
Yeah, we'll start with beers. Yeah. So they are the people. Some of the people behind the partners.
Who are the sponsors then? So we've got CANNA
Nutrients,
AutoPot
watering systems,
CANLight fan and filters,
just can fan and filters, isn't it?
Just can fan and filters. I say light because they're like the bulk of the sales in our shop.
Yeah.
I just assume it's light, but it's not.
CANLight and CAN Original.
AutoPot.
Yeah, we've said them.
Gavita.
I've said AutoPot twice, so they've got to pay twice now.
AutoPot, they've got to pay twice now.
Gavita lights. CANNA. You've said them twice now.
Have I? Just
You're going to have to say everyone twice now, otherwise someone's going to get a cob on.
Oh, right. Okay,
right, so there's CANNA twice, or does that mean that CANNA's 3 times? AutoPot, CAN filters, BudBox, SANlight, Gavita.
BudBox. Just to put it out there twice.
And BudBox again for the 3rd time. And Garden Culture magazine. Eric. So, no, this is a serious one now. I said it a little bit briefly last week, but the partners were at the end of last week's podcast because we had to, James from House and Garden, very busy guy, we had to jump on bang on 7 o'clock, and I didn't want to waste 5-10 minutes talking, going through all the partner stuff. I wanted, because we had basically an hour and a half with James, so I wanted to make the most of it. And I said at the end of last week's podcast just how grateful I was. So now it's your turn, Barry. Tell them all how grateful you are.
Listen, I'm grateful. To be honest with you, though, I think everyone's grateful for everything what they've got at the minute. Shops are opening, the pubs are opening, but the normality's coming back a little bit. You know what I mean? It's not fully there, but we're getting there.
Well, I'll tell you why it's not fully there for everyone that's listening. I'll tell you why Barry said it's not fully there, because we will never be fully there until Barry's had a back rub.
Yeah, until the spas are open.
Until the spas are open, there's no normality. No. Barry's going to make up.
The 17th, isn't it, the next month?
Something like that. Barry's going to go missing.
No fucking podcast on that day, mate.
We're going to have to do 2 in a week.
Make sure we've got a guest in.
Yeah.
Aye.
Yeah.
But, we are unbelievably grateful.
Yeah, because they've all...
For standing by us and understanding. We did try and carry on with the podcast, but we did have a few haters, didn't we,
a few little moany asses.
A few little moany asses, and who don't like it, don't fucking tune in.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know Barry hasn't got COVID. Barry knows I haven't got COVID, because guess what we do when we've been in work all day? We go home. Guess what we do after we've been home? We go back to work. We lead very boring lives.
Yeah, we do.
And we're not very sociable.
But we did have a few haters, didn't we, kicking in? And
well, we had people saying, I can't believe you're podcasting in the height of a pandemic. I'm like, Barry's in me bubble, fuck off. Yeah. And then
tell your plants we're in COVID, stop growing.
Yeah.
Just hold it there, mate.
Yeah. And then
these same people who were hating were probably running in and fucking putting fucking masks and gloves on the fucking plants. It's like, come on, mate. Give us a break.
You also have people like, where's the podcast? Like, this is what are we doing on our Sundays?
And it was gutting.
to be fair, if your main thing is listening to us on Sunday at 12 o'clock, like, there's something up. Like, that's why it's recorded.
Like a gap filler.
Yeah, gap filler. Before bed.
Nah, but we had a few haters and we've blocked them off everything now. She can't fucking listen now.
Yeah, you fucked it for yourselves. But also, these every manufacturer, the partners and non-partners, have had a tough time of it.
Yeah.
It's been, I think I said it briefly last week, it's a privilege to work in this industry, because where everyone else has, one, not been able to work, they've suffered financially. It's also been mentally very difficult for people that have not had, people who love regularity and the being able to get up, go to work, come home, and just what's the word? Routine. There you go. Love the routine. That's gone to cock. So with us in a gardening centre, we have a shop. If you're newly joined, we have a shop called NPK, and this podcast came from the shop. It's now its own separate entity, talking about growing. We are this year going to start talking about, because we may as well do a big announcement. The podcast is now a completely separate entity. We have a shop where we sell garden equipment. We have the podcast that talks about gardening, but we also want to breach a subject about medicinal plants. So we're going to be talking about historical medicinal plants, how people used to use lavender to calm them down, and rosemary for antibacterial. Yeah. The big one, of course, though, that is hopefully will be legalised in the next few years for medicinal, is cannabis. And we've removed the podcast from the shop. It's now a charitable organisation. And via that charitable organisation, we want to educate people to look after themselves better, to grow better plants, so for their own health.
Just imagine though, if everyone did start growing their own plants, and touch wood now, you can hear me, that we did go into a major another pandemic.
Yeah.
10 times as worse as the one that we've just been through. It would be nice that, like, everyone knew a survival, the basics to survive. Do you know what I mean? It is like, it does bring you back when you're at a pandemic, and I laugh and say to people, just think though, lad, when we're dead and our kids are gone and their kids are gone and their kids are gone, still in the history books will be this day. Do you know what I mean?
Like it was 1919, the big, what was it, the Black Death? Or there was a massive
I think this will go down. Don't get me wrong, it's not wasn't as brutal as World Wars and stuff like that, but it's going to be in between all them.
Oh yeah,
do you know what I mean?
In 100 years' time,
it's still going to be spoke about, and it's mad that we've lived through it. Touch wood, do you know what I mean? A lot of people haven't, and my heart goes out to them.
I know. Difficult for a lot of people.
Yeah, it's been difficult, and then people will never get over that. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah, just bear that in mind when we see light at the end of the tunnel. Yeah, and we're thinking there's like still a very dark time for some people that lost people due to COVID. But yeah, it's been a privilege to go back to it, to be in this industry, to have the regularity, to have the routine, to be able to open up the garden, the shop. It's been tough because we have been on rotas in the shop, and that's one of the reasons why the podcast was hard to do.
And we're just one industry that suffered. Like the pubs and stuff like that have all opened again. Think about how many aren't opening the doors though. So instead of sitting, and it's mad for me to say this because I'm not a big drinker, but I am going to support it a little bit, like, is go down to your local restaurant when it does open, and go down to your local pub and give them your money. You know what I mean? Well, everyone saved up a little bit of change in this. No one spent that much. People say, though, like they've spent loads, but we sort of haven't. You know what I mean? It's sort of been like, I'm a bit of a bore anyway, but just think about the people who aren't opening shops, who are sat at home now thinking they've lost everything. So just give a little support, especially to your local shops.
Yeah. You know so, yeah, and it's been, like, if you are part of this industry, just
you sound dead emotional, don't I?
You do, yeah. Yeah. You're looking as well. There's a little tear rolling down your left cheek.
No, it's not.
No, is that petrol, is it?
That's petrol.
No, it's been, if you are part of this industry and you've managed to have your routine because of this industry, just take a minute just to appreciate it. Like, you could have been in the hospitality industry and you could have been going through hell the last 12 months. So, having said all that, the manufacturers, one of the sort of the other reasons, one of the parts of having a bit of a break was, as well as everything else going on, China, where people say this originated. Brexit, prices going up. It's been very, very difficult for shops to get hold of the products because manufacturers, the price of containers have gone through the roof, where it may cost £5,000 to bring a container to the UK to now, at the worst point, it was costing some people £20,000. They have to take that on the chin. And it's been tough getting products, and every manufacturer struggled. So one of the things that I was thinking is the silver lining to not doing the podcast is if we're here promoting CANNA nutrients and BudBox tents and SANlight, Gavita, can filters, garden cultures, not really including that because he was
if
getting.
You can't get them.
Yeah, then
it's no point.
They're going to go somewhere else. So that was a bit of the silver lining. And just one more time, none of the partners harassed us. None of the partners were grumpy. Sad anything bad to say. They were all super supportive. And yeah, I just wanted to take
a
full episode
when
to
you
say
look at
thank
that
you.
day, I think like it would have been the last thing on their list of shit to do.
Yeah,
know what I mean?
Yeah.
We would have been with, like you say, the sponsors that sponsor us are the best of the best of the best in the industry. You're not getting better than them. Do you know what I mean? So I think we would have been the last thing on the mind. I think the main thing on their mind is looking after their workers, trying to get as much product out there to the shops with, freight had slowed down, everything had slowed down. So, they done well. Done well.
Yeah.
And we know a lot of products were out of stock. A lot of products didn't get to us on time, and it is what it is.
Part and parcel of being in a pandemic.
Part and parcel of the history book, mate.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
There you go. So, yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much for bearing with us.
And we will get them all on the podcast this season. And there's going to be some, there's going to be some changes to the podcast. It's like I keep going back to being inspired. We've been doing this for 6 years. And this is our 223 episodes, Barry.
Oh, I'm glad you only jumped in lately. Fuck that. I'd have well be tired.
And you know what? On the other side of things, it was nice to have a break. Sometimes we have a 4-week break around August time just to enjoy the summer and not have to write down all what we're doing. But it was nice because I feel like I've come back invigorated. I've been looking at other people's podcasts being like, I feel like I'm part of a community now, like a podcast community. I do. Do you know what I mean? Even though they don't know about us, and like some of them have rose to fame because they're famous people.
You might surprise yourself.
It just feels like there's a big podcast community going now, and we're part of it. And we've been doing it since 2015. And I'm really looking to take this podcast to the next level. So people who listen to us, I appreciate you as well, because we haven't been fancy dancy. We've done a few YouTube videos. We've slowly improved as we've got on, but we've never really gone next level. So we also have NPK Media, our media company, which is a separate entity, and they're going to promote and rebrand, do a whole new website. So we're going to produce a website in time for September. That'll be a learning platform for everyone. A bit of a rebrand so it looks good, multiple cameras, and just take it up a proper level. Do you know what I mean? So that's our one part how we're going to get back to
loads of competitions this year, though,
You want one?
I want loads.
You know what? That's what we should do. We should
want loads of competitions for all the people who may have been listening to all the previous podcasts while they've been on lockdown, and maybe they've stumbled across us, and maybe they would want to dip the little toe in. That has been,
to be fair, you've touched on a good point there. The listeners, like the amount of downloads did drop a little bit because there's no new episodes, but not as much as I thought. Like the new people listening must have made up for it. And a few people have been in the shop being, I didn't know you did a podcast during lockdown. I've come across it. And I'm like, I was surprised
That's
by
searching the shop to see if it's open.
Yeah, coming across the podcast and listening. Yeah, so I've been pleasantly surprised with, like, I was worried that it would drop off, and it's been good that it's remained relatively steady. So I'm looking forward. I'm going to take it to the next level. Want to reach as many people as possible. We're going to do a few American podcasts. We've been threatening for months, if not years, to do one with Haughty Chris and his podcast. I'm going to connect with a few American podcasts and see how they're getting on. Yeah. We're going to start talking a bit more about medicinal plants, the legalization of cannabis in different countries, because we're a global podcast. The majority of our listeners are US based, so shout out to all the US listeners. Listen to us, Brits over the water. Appreciate you. We're number 7 in Sweden, so we're in the I put that out on our Instagram, so you should follow us at NPK Podcast to keep up with random shit we talk. But yeah, we're number 6 in the science category. We're number 6 in Sweden in February.
Me, that.
Yeah, they love grade old grade men in Sweden. They love.
Who sound like them. Broken motorbikes.
Yeah. So there you go. Okay, so that's all the nice stuff out the way. Should we go back to our roots and start being a little bit aggy again?
With what?
With something that's annoying me a little bit.
What's annoying you?
I'll tell you.
You should have told me before we come on.
Why did you want this to just be a pleasant podcast and make it all happy?
Yeah, I wanted it to be nice and
happy. Should we save it for next week?
You're about to start. What, are you knocking people or?
Manufacturers. It's. I don't know who it is. I know some are doing it, but I'm obviously not going to name them.
What?
Sending products directly to end users.
Do you know what? Save it, Steve, because I'm going to do a full podcast and rip people's assholes out of them. That's what I'm going to do.
Okay. And this is not
wholesalers or actual.
I think anybody.
Is it wholesalers or?
I think it could be wholesalers, manufacturers. It could be anyone. Do you know what I mean?
Selling
not shops.
Direct to customers.
If shops want to give shit away for free, that is they've bought the shit. Yeah. Give it to the end users. Are we going to save this for next week, or should we? Because it's AutoPot next week. Should we just get it off our chest?
No. Save it.
Okay, so before we get into it, though, manufacturers and wholesalers using in the firing line.
Yeah.
Shops, no.
See when the wholesaler.
We're going to get into it, aren't we? We're going to get into it.
No, I'm just going to be brief. See when the wholesaler or the manufacturer wants to give stuff away to promote their product, they should do it through a shop.
Yes.
If some random Joe off Facebook, Instagram, or just gets in contact with you and says, "Oh, I really like your product, I'd love to test it," then they should say, as a wholesaler or a manufacturer, "Whereabouts do you live? What region?" Okay, I tell them what I'll do for you. I will send you to your local shop. I will send it to them. I will inform them that we are sending it to you. Then you have to pick it up from your local hydroponics or garden centre. You don't just send it direct, because what I've figured out is these people...
Oh, we're getting into it. Getting into it. Go.
These people then getting everything for free. Everything for free. And that's fine as long as it comes through the shop. So at some point, that person then comes back to that shop to spend money. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If that makes sense. It's
Absolutely.
like you're sending like hundreds, if not thousands of pounds worth of product. And I can understand why. I can.
Yeah, I can. It's
send it
right
through the shops. So then people come into the shop and might actually buy from the shop while they're there. Where, as it is now, these people are ringing
in inverted
everyone.
Commas, influencers, because they've got a few thousand followers.
Yeah. It's like, I don't think the wholesalers should engage with them.
Definitely not wholesalers.
It should be shops.
Definitely not wholesalers. And I don't think it is really wholesalers. I've not heard too many wholesalers doing this. It's your manufacturers.
But manufacturers, without us fucking shops, you wouldn't be fucking anywhere.
Yeah.
And the same...
And the shops wouldn't be anywhere without the customers.
With the manufacturers. So work together. You can either go online and give all your fucking shit away, and then people don't come to our shops. If they don't come to our shops, your shit shat on our shelves. That all come out mad, didn't it?
Shat on our shelves.
Your shit, your product is now sat on our shelf. And in our shop, if your product sat on the shelf for that long and it grows dust, it grows fucking nettle. That's how we look at it. If it doesn't move off the shelf and it grows dust, you're out the fucking door. Do you know what I mean? That's the way it is. But see the products that are sat on the shelf now, just gathering a little bit of dust. It's because you're giving shit away to people instead of still give your shit away, but send it to the shop so the shop can give it to them. That way there might be a little bit of engagement in the shop where they then buy stuff from the shop, because as it is now, kid, it's just beyond a bit of a fucking joke.
It's just started to...
It's starting a trend.
Yeah, it is.
People come into our shop and say to us, yeah, that and that, and they have me there for 15 fucking minutes telling me, asking me about this system or this light or this, and then at the end of it I think, yeah man, there's probably a sale in this for us. Do you know what I mean? They go, Nah, man. I've been in touch on Instagram with them. They're sending me 5 of them, and I think, sending you like $2,500 worth of lights and that, yeah. Fucking hell, mate.
Oh, well,
I don't even get that fucking love off them.
Yeah.
I don't get that love.
If you do, you've got a proper
If I
beg
do,
for it.
I feel a cunt ringing someone and saying, hey, it's Barry out the shop, you know, where, look, lad, I am interested in these. Any chance you could send me a few to test? It's like, you're taking the fucking piss, mate.
Yeah.
Taking the absolute fucking piss. You know what I mean?
Do you want me to drop the bombshell?
What?
On these manufacturers that are sending out these products to these end users that they think they're going to use and rave about and use.
They're not fucking using them.
They're not using them
50%
50% of the time. Yeah. And I know this for a fact, is you're sending them the products and then they're going and taking those brand new products and going to shops and going, do you want to buy this off me or can I trade this in for something else? So they're not even using your products. It's backwards. And I'm not saying that we know everything, but I'm pretty confident that this is going to go badly wrong for you because every shop in the country, whether they like me and Barry, they like NPK or they hate us, they are going to agree with us. If these manufacturers continue to just give their stuff away for promotions or whatever to these influencers, then the shops are going to stop supporting you and you'll soon learn that the shops are the backbone of your success, just like the end users are the backbone of shop success. And if there's end users listening to you thinking, oh, I've direct messages and I've got stuff for free, this isn't a thing. This isn't a, like, I would do that. Anyone would do that. Like, no, but try your hand.
Look, give it away at a certain amount.
Yeah.
If someone phones you for $2,500 worth of lights and you give them away, I think he's a fucking mad. I think he's a mad.
Unless that person's got 1 million followers. But most, like, there's only a couple of people out there with the 50,000+ followers, and do you know what I mean? It's you're giving
still
stuff
think
away
that you
to
should say
people.
no. You've got to pick it up from your local shop. Or ask them.
Yeah, always.
Ask them. Where do you shop?
Mm-hmm.
Where do you shop? If they say
when
XYZ shop, I'll send it there for you.
Yes, I'm going to give shout like, and again,
speak. In fact, if they say, "Oh yeah, I go to this shop," that's where the shop. Well, get in touch with the shop and see if the shop knows them and see if the shop turns around and says, yeah, mate, they're full of shit.
Yeah.
They're fucking full of shit.
They buy off eBay.
Yeah, they buy off eBay.
We've got customers that come in and they'll have you for an hour, talk, fixing all the problems. So do you want that £20 or let's go a bit more expensive? Do you want this £100 solution to the problem? I can get that for £70 off eBay.
Yeah, lad, that's fuck all. Do you know what I've had people saying, and I'm going to say it? You know what I've had people saying after sitting there for 20 minutes and talking and telling them how to use a product is, nah, why would I buy it off you when I can just message them myself? Why would I give you 25% more?
Yeah.
And I've just gone, yeah.
It's a slippery slope.
Mate.
It's a slippery slope. Manufacturers, and we're not saying this because we're worried about the future of our shop and every other shop. We're saying this because not everyone's going to go direct, and the shops will only support the people that come through them. Or guess what? Which some shops already do. They just buy the products in direct themselves, and the manufacturers haven't got shops, so they'll go. I think it's a slippery slope.
Lad,
give your stuff away
I have
for free.
asked manufacturers for products for display purposes, and they fucking want to charge me for them. And it's like, you cheeky bastards. You cheeky bastard. You know what I mean? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to phone the wholesaler and I'm going to get a different product and I'm going to promote the fucking life out of it. You cheeky cunt. You know what I mean? It's fucking ruthless.
I don't think you were that
should have saved it for a full podcast. Like,
nah, it's not worth a full podcast.
I'd hit everything down.
No, it's not worth a full podcast. It's not worth giving the amount.
You know what? You know how I look at it as well, though. You're only giving it away because it's fucking shite and it probably doesn't work.
Oh yeah, good people like.
It's too fucking expensive.
Try and get a Gavita light for free. Try and get a SANlight for free. Try and get a BudBox for free. And I know, and I'm saying these because I'm just trying to think quickly.
No, you're right.
None of the partners that I know of give stuff away. It's other people. And people go, well, you only say that because the partners. No, I just wouldn't have brought it up if I was going to put them in shit. You know what I mean? I wouldn't have brought it up. It's other people. It's manufacturers. It's some wholesalers giving stuff away to the end users. And if I'm bringing this up and I've only got a selection of customers through one shop. There's like 400 plus shops in the UK, and we're hearing about it through the people that come our shop. Imagine how much products getting given away to all those people. And I'm going to shout out random shops as well. I'm going to shout out like shops that put work in, like One Stop Grow Shop. They put work in. You want to see their website, and you want to see the promotions that they do and the shops that they've got. And they put work in to promote people's products and do photography and do nice videos.
So they're spending tons of money to promote a product, what they've got in store, and then you're giving it away.
I know. So what do you think?
At least send it to One Stop and say, run a competition. Run a competition with that. If they're that keen to use it, if the end users are that keen to use it, they'll engage with the shop because they really want it, and they're the people who really want it because they really do what they do.
Let's just shout out
they
a few
want
shops,
it to use. They're not just thinking, get that. I'll fucking take that to another shop and get money back, or I'll take it in and say, look, got this from there and there. Do you want it? Fucking? And I don't need it now. And
let's just shout out a few people because I obviously don't want to. One Stop will be made up with that, I think, because I genuinely like them as what they do for the industry in terms of like the product photos that they do, the videos that they do. I like anything that improves us as an industry. I'm going to bring myself onto another topic, actually remind me, making our industry look good. Say that to me in a minute. So One Stop, very professional, do good photos, good videos, as does Holland Hydroponics, as does Growwell. Picking them out because they're some of the big online retailers.
Washington doing bits.
You've took the words out my mouth. So let's go to some of the ones that haven't got chain shops. Pro Hydro Washington, like we've been up there. We did the virtual tour there. The web guy, boss lad, working really hard to promote products, do good videos, photos.
What's his name? The other kid who does herb and stuff like that.
Seymour Green.
He puts good content out.
Content.
He promotes good products.
A little bit of a mini wholesaler, but got original products. Yeah. He's doing good stuff. Who else out there? There's plenty of shops out there. I can't go through them all. But loads of independents, loads of chains, putting the graft in, putting the work in to do promotions. And how do you think they're going to feel when they find out that you're just giving shit straight to the consumer? It's not going to end well. Just, if you believe me, or if you don't believe me, just take me warning on board. Stop giving away stuff direct. Put it through a shop. Like Barry just said, find out, say, who do you normally shop with?
Look,
send it to the shop and let them pick it up from the shop.
For other reasons, they shouldn't be interacting with them people. For other reasons.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Some people don't use the equipment for the right things.
No, they don't.
And that could land you in a lot of shit.
It could, lad.
The shops in the UK that have been here for a good few years obviously do things the right way. They try the best to make sure that the products are used in the best way possible.
Yeah.
Don't land
You're
yourself
telling
in shit.
me as a manufacturer, that a Britain-based manufacturer, let's say, that you've been contacted off Instagram and you can see his full Instagram and you're sending him product. Good luck, lad. Good luck, mate. I just think it's a bang out of order. I think you should take on money right out of the fucking shops, mate. But then you send your reps round fucking, do you need anything and all that? Yeah, I need you to fuck right off and tell your fucking boss not to be giving shit away. And if he is going to give it away, tell him to fucking engage with the person, see where he shops, and then say, okay, I'll send it to that shop.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
And again, we're not singling out anyone in particular.
No, it's everyone. If you don't do it, don't
and you
think about
doing it. Yeah,
don't.
It off. So there's the rants. There's old school NPK podcast that we used to do.
It's not a rant.
I think that was a rant, Paddy. That was a brilliant rant by you. I wasn't expecting you to go.
Take, isn't it?
Wasn't look at your top. You've got, what have you got there? You've got the 3 mountains. You've gone full Everest on us there. You went right to the peaks.
They're the world's highest peaks.
Yeah. What are those two? Just to the left and right? What's that one to the right?
I don't know. Yeah, world's highest peaks.
Yeah, but there's 5 on there. There's one to the right of Mount Everest.
They're my tits.
Oh, are they the nipples?
Yeah, they're my tits. They're getting big.
They look like the highest peaks on your t-shirt.
No swimming. Leave me alone, lad.
But anyway, that's rant number 1. Moderate talking point number 2 is the industry. A lot of people are working really hard to make the industry look good. And if we want to progress as an industry, we want to be professional. we want to be. And we've put some posts out, or the media company put some posts out regarding social media. On social media, we may be looked at as an industry, as a grey market or a grey industry. We may be looked at as unprofessional, or you've got your own ideas of what people that aren't part of our industry may think of us looking in. So it's our job to make us look as professional as possible, because we are, and there's some phenomenal business people out there in the shops, the wholesalers and manufacturers. There's people doing brilliant marketing, and I just want everyone to remember, like, just think about what people think when they look in. Always remain professional. Try not to have slang. I know it's hard. Try not to have slang matches on Instagram. If it gets to that point, just put a button in it and just say, we'll sort it out face to face, and we can sort things out in person.
We can do boxing matches.
Yeah, charity boxing matches.
Yeah.
Bring that one closer into your mouth, because you've got dead relaxed
5
again.
people lined up right now.
Barry's getting that in his old age. He used to be dead mellow, you know. You know what it is? I think he hasn't been out rallying for a year. He's just getting all vented and worked up.
Yeah.
But no, remain professional. And I think the reason that things have slipped a little bit is that there's been no contact for over a year. And
normally we have spanner bursts, AutoPot, other little bits
and
bobs.
Feed yourself, which is what's that, product earth and feed yourself. That's been going on. So by the time we get to AutoPot in August, it's going to be nearly 18 months before anyone's really seen anyone. And I think that lack of human interaction has just made people become weird on social media. Just remember that there's other people on the other end of social media, and what you're doing in your marketing, what you're doing. What?
There's people you can't see.
Like who?
I don't know.
What do you mean there's people you can't see? That's a really random thing to say. Just remember that there's always someone on the other end of a line on social media. Be as professional as possible, because what's funny and annoying is when there's a little bit of ag on social media, you know, when those people are like next to each other, it's all fucking handshakes and hugs. And let's promote professionalism. Let's move forward as an industry. And I think it's a lack of interaction. So I'm hoping everyone gets to see everyone on AutoPot, the Feed Yourself and the Product Earth show, Spanibus next year, and everything just goes back to normal, and we're all hugs and fucking mates. Do you know what I mean? That's what we all are in this industry. So Basil, next week is AutoPot. It's going to be podcast 224. And we're taking a deep dive into AutoPot, the valve that they brought out, all the new systems that they've got coming out. There'll be some growing tips on how to grow an AutoPot and best practices when using them. And we're going to get into it. We're going to move forward in 2021, take the podcast to the next level. Nice. New website coming out for September. Some new strategies we've got for increasing education and helping people learn about growing.
Live phoning.
Yeah, live phoning is coming out.
Fucking Pete Price show with your phone up and go, you fucking pair of dickheads, put the phone down.
Oh yeah, we need to stop that. There'll be plenty of that, won't there?
Okay. I'm going to phone in. I'm late. I'm late. Be there in 10 minutes.
Yeah, stay. You're a bell end. Yeah. Boop. No, so what are you up to tonight? Quick one.
Nothing, I'm going home.
You're going home?
I'm always going home.
Well, I am watching the Ben Askren and Jake Paul
fight.
What
time is it on?
Well, it's on a bit early. 4 o'clock.
Is it? Yeah. Oh, I'm watching some fucking turd YouTuber.
Yeah, you know what? I'm a Ben Askren fan.
Listen, lad. Listen, that YouTuber's going to line him out. I promise you now.
Should we give him, like, predictions? Lad, and then we'll edit it so that we look as though we predicted.
I've watched both of them. If the YouTuber kid was in MMA fight with him, he's got no chance.
His life would
be over in 10. He'd be choked out. But this MMA wrestler kid is getting in the ring with the YouTuber. I've watched that YouTuber over the past couple of days and watching him spar, watching him train. Listen, lad, he's 10 times as quick as him, lad. Promise you now. That YouTuber's a grappler. If he gets older, mate, he's going to tie you up and knots.
The MMA fighters.
The MMA fighters, yeah. I don't know the names.
Yeah, well, Ben Askren's the MMA. I'm team Ben Askren. Barry's a bit team Jake Paul. So we'll see.
That Jake lad, listen, kid, honestly. He's gonna blitz him, I promise you.
There's a little bet out there that I might be
Don't get me wrong, I reckon it's gonna go the full 12 because that MMA fighter is like, lad, he's an Olympian, lad.
I've looked at the odds.
Fit as fuck, lad.
You're not knocking him out.
No.
The only thing that's ever knocked him out is a flying knee from that
This
Masvidal.
kid's that quick. And lad, that Ben said to himself, he's not the quickest kid. You're not the quickest kid in boxing, mate. It's like, you've got to be quick. Your reactions have got to be rapid. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that Jake Paul needs some stamina.
He's gonna I reckon he's gonna win on points, lad. I reckon he's gonna win on points.
I've looked at the odds.
I'd love to see him knock him out, but
it's 7-1.
I don't think he's got it in him to knock him out because
nobody ever has, apart from Masvidal with a flying knee.
Yeah, and that was a bad one. That was the world's quickest, man.
Yeah.
5 seconds.
Yeah.
That was fucking 2 seconds.
Yeah, and then a few punches on top.
No, it took the ref 3 seconds to realise.
We were looking at it before. He went stiff.
Yeah,
but
like
the odds,
them out.
the odds on that,
board.
to go the distance, Jake Paul to win on points or decision, same thing, 7-1. Put a 1 on, you're walking away with £600.
For Jake?
For Jake Paul to go the round for 7-1. You know, it's worth a little flutter.
I reckon it'll go the full hog and he'll win. The YouTuber kid will win.
Yeah. Well, everyone listening to this will already know the results because it's going out on Sunday. So, were we right? Were we wrong? Let us know at NPK Podcast on Instagram. We'd love to do TikTok. We'd love to be flying on TikTok, but Barry's too old for it, and I've got too much on.
I'm far too old for
So there you go. Maybe in the future. Listen, hope everyone has. Thank you very much for listening. Man. We're going to do a competition next week because I want the people who tune in to the next few podcasts, like straight, you know what, the people who jump straight back on them, I want to reward them. So there's going to be a big giveaway next week.
Giving away something to people who want it and are going to use it and appreciate it.
Yeah, competition.
Do you know what I mean?
All that shit. Oh yeah, just competitions are fine. You want to run a competition? That's happy. That's all day. But giving it away sneaky, that's not on. And we'll finish on a happy note.
Yeah, man.
What's a happy note, Barry? We're back. That's it. There you go. There's your happy note. We're back. Podcast 223. We'll see you all next week for AutoPot, a deep dive. Go and enjoy the rest of the day. We love you all, and we love everybody.
Sunshine and sport local pub.
See you all next week. Bye-bye.
In a bit.